I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right.
King of destruction amid scientific development, now Heat Ray Godzilla from Godzilla 2000, Millennium, 1999. I joins Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Series. Godzilla lands in Nemuro, Hokkaido. He destroys the town and disappears, but then makes another landing in Takamura, Ibaraki Prefecture. Meanwhile, a mysterious rock mass discovered in Kashima Nada, Ibaraki Prefecture by the Crisis Control Intelligence, CCI, suddenly begins flying and confronts Godzilla. When Godzilla radiates a heat ray, a giant UFO appears from within the rock mass. This brand new Heat Ray Godzilla action figure stands 18 centimeters tall, based on Godzilla 2000, Millennium 1999. Faithfully reproduces Godzilla's fierce eyes, reptilian mouth, sharp dark green skin, and other suit details. Teeth and claws are painted with a yellowed, aged finish to give the piece a more biological, featuring an eye-catching orange red paint dorsal fin with clear parts, multiple joints throughout the body, ensuring an authentic appearance, while providing a wide range of articulation, with additional 2 times interchangeable hand parts, and 1x heat ray effect part, let you recreate various combat scenes from the film. The Godzilla figure is open for orders in global regions, excluding Japan. Pictures for reference only, specific products in kind prevail. SRP, $54.99 US. Release time 2026 Q1.
Ooh, I was not expecting Hiya Toys to announce another Godzilla 2000 this fast. Probably within 3 to 4 months. Regardless, we gotta cover this information right now. So this is the Godzilla Heat Ray version, the one that he goes up against the UFO, aka Orga from Godzilla 2000. In case the information was not clear enough, this will feature translucent dorsal plates to recreate that infamous fire-like dorsal plates heating up with the extreme temperature that we saw during that specific movie. I love the effect that we saw. Before I move on to my opinion, this is typically a topic I would rather not touch, but it has to be touched because of the pricing. If you notice, this figure is a little bit more expensive from the usual $51.99. As you all may know, the USA has imposed tariffs or paused them for 90 days for most of the world except for China. And right now, those figures that are being produced from Hiya Toys come directly from China. And it's a sensitive topic. I usually do not cover politics or anything like that on my channel. But the reason why figures will now become more expensive, especially for everybody in the US, everybody else, we don't really have to worry about that, is because right now there's a trade war happening between the US and China because of the US imposing some tariffs, which means a lot of things are going to be expensive for both countries, for the US and China. This will affect a lot of collectors, especially Hiya Toys. This just means that the traditional pricing that we used to see for Hiya Toys is only going to increase, especially for the larger figures. Those figures used to cost around $90 to $110. Well, now from that price, we could potentially see them go to $120, $130, and even more. Because if this does not stop, it only means that the pricing for figures are going to continue to rise, especially for the US. For me, this isn't going to affect me, but we'll just have to see because it is going to affect a lot of countries in different ways. But I'm trying not to touch this topic too much. I'm just trying to give you a small explanation as to why we could potentially and why we see the change and the increase in price with this new Hiya Toys Godzilla. Anyways, now it's time to move on to my opinion. I'm quite surprised. I was not expecting Hiya Toys to reveal this figure this soon. Like I mentioned, I was expecting maybe 4 to 5 months later. Regardless, I think it looks very interesting. For some reason, this figure looks just different from the previous one. I'm not sure if it's because of the paint job just playing some mind trick on me, but it does look just different. It could be the angles, but the overall skin texture for me just looks different on the chest, the head sculpture. Regardless, I think they really did a fantastic job capturing the big head of Godzilla 2000. The teeth, the eyes, the dorsal plates are translucent, and that's perfect for what they're trying to recreate. The effect, this one looks different from all the effects that we have seen except for the classic Godzilla. I very much love how this effect has like some spiral effect with some fire. We do get some extra hands, and it looks really nice. We do get to see this Godzilla more in motion compared to the previous one. The paint job looks a little bit different. It's weird because in the description it says that this Godzilla is meant to be more greenish, if I remember that correctly. But this does not look green. This looks more like his typical color. I do know that the green version is the one from the next installment of this movie, which would be the sequel. That's where you see Godzilla just rocking a more like gray type of green wash around his body. Regardless, I do love this figure, and this is definitely going to be a pickup for me. As many of you know, Godzilla 2000 is one of my favorite designs, and I grew up with this, so it does hold a special place in my heart, and it just looks really amazing. I gotta say that the background pictures and everything that they've done as of lately, just taking pictures for their upcoming figures, they have stepped it up. The fact that now they have like dioramas, they have cities, they have smoke effect going on in the background, lighting. It looks fantastic, I gotta say. Hopefully someday in the future Hiya Toys introduces dioramas. Now, if they have both of those figures ready, the original and now the Hiya version, it can only mean that they probably do have the UFO ready, or probably Orga in a prototype phase. Eventually it has to get revealed. I just want to assume that it's going to happen. If they have Godzilla 2000, they have to follow up with his arch enemy. This is something that they've done, and they've done it with the classic Godzilla. Godzilla got his counterpart, which was King Ghidorah, and they've done it with Super Mechagodzilla. So I just want to assume that if they're focusing on this movie, it just means that Orga should be coming, or at the very least, it has to get announced within this year, early next year, I would assume, or probably late this year. And it's going to be a very, very highly anticipated figure. We don't have any articulated Orgas out there. We have some Bandai figures and stuff like that, but this figure is very rare, so it would make a great addition to anybody's collection out there, especially for both of those figures. And I can only imagine how fantastic it's going to look. And a little fun fact about me, when I grew up watching this movie, Orga used to scare the F out of me. Just the sounds emitting from Orga, the way he looked. As a kid, I was terrified of that monster. Anyways, just enough of me rambling. Overall, my thoughts with this figure, I think it looks great. The paint job, the color choice for the dorsal plates sort of reminds me of the X Plus statue that they've done quite a while ago, and the whole colors, the sculpture looks really great. Now, for me, the neck section and the head sculpture looks a little bit weird. I think that could definitely be improved, but it's just a minor little thing that bugs me here and there. We'll just have to wait how the community reacts and see if there's any impact, if there's anything that has to be changed. But overall, I'm just happy with how the figure looks